So the last point that you might want to consider in your essay about balancing the rights of victims, suspects and society is laws relating to bail and remand. You can get so much out of bail and remand, and it can be used in various essays. So I would strongly recommend that you really study the bail and remand laws and changes to the bail and remand laws, because there's just so much in it. I've put a little summary of bail and remand on Google Classrooms to help you sort of wade through the information. The bail and remand is really important. Bail means that a person who is charged with a crime is able to go free until their trial. Okay, and if they are found to be guilty of a crime, then perhaps they'll go to jail after that. But if they're found to be innocent, then they, off they go back home. So bail sort of supports the presumption of innocence. Bail is sort of saying, well, we're not going to detain you because you actually haven't been convicted of a crime yet. Okay? So bail is really important to support that basic presumption of innocence. Remand is the opposite of bail. So remand means that, you've been arrested for a crime, and until your trial, you're going to be held in jail. So you would hope that really serious criminals would be held on remand, okay? Because you don't want them sort of roaming the streets until their trial. But by the same token, they have not been convicted of a crime until after the trial. So bail and remand is really important to balance the safety of society during that period between charge and conviction. So it's really important to protect society, but it's really important as well to secure that presumption of innocence. So there's been significant changes in New South Wales with regard to bail. And so in New South Wales, if you're convicted of a serious crime, for example, terrorism or murder, then you have to show why you should get bail. They call this show cause. The judge determines whether you're an unacceptable risk. There is a presumption, so with this system where you need to show cause why you should get bail, that presumption of innocence is sort of diminished, okay? It's sort of, and the burden of proof then shifts to the suspect, okay? So that balance between victim, society and the suspect has changed. Another important thing about recent changes to the bail laws is that the presumption of innocence was moved to the preamble of the Act. Okay, so that in itself diminished the importance of the presumption of innocence. Now, on the other hand, there are classic examples of people who have been released on bail who have committed very serious crimes. For example, Man Monis, who was the Lindt siege guy, Howie, who was a bikie who killed some people at Sydney Airport, that young man who drove the car into pedestrians in Melbourne, and there was also a guy called Stephen Fessus who killed his wife. So these were all classic examples of people who were given bail when perhaps they shouldn't have been. So on the other side of the coin, you have to bail and remand needs to also protect society. So on one side you've got this presumption of innocence, but on the other side you've got the need to protect society. So striking that balance is really difficult.
Created using Powtoon.